Hey, butterflies. It is your host, Black Butterfly, and welcome back to the Free Space Podcast, where I will be talking about mental health, self-care, LGBT topics, and more. So, this week, I'm gonna be solo dolo because I don't know. I just need to fucking vent because I don't know. I just do. So, I'm gonna talk about basically being a good person because yeah. So we're just gonna dive deep, and I just want to disclose that being a good person is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but it can bite you in the ass. So yeah. So I guess this week will be a story time because, bitch, I just yeah. If you have a good heart, you kind of can relate to what I'm talking about because it can be hard just being a good person and just having such a good heart, and people kind of abuse it, and it's just like you want to be there for them but you don't. So yeah, so I'm gonna get into the story time. So so here's the tea. So actually, you know what? It's not even gonna be a story time. It's just gonna be just like a whole just general thing because it's just been more than one person in my life that has done this. So yeah. So I'm gonna change people's names up because it's what I do around here. So let's see, where should I start? So there was a person. Let's see, what should I name her? Okay, so her name is gonna be, I don't know, Anonymous. Yeah, Anonymous. We'll just call her that. So Anonymous and I were friends for quite some time, like about 2 or 3 years. And when me and her met, like, you know, she was like a really cool person. Like, I was really excited to, like, you know, meet her and be friends with her, stuff like that. And we met in college, so it's like our freshman year, whatever. And like, she was like really cool, and I was like, oh, like her personality is great and stuff. And so like we like hung out a lot, you know. It was like any other friendship, like it was just real cool. But then like as we got to know each other more, things started to change. And like she came from like, you know, I wouldn't say like a privileged background, but she was, you know, more privileged than I was, basically. But with the way like my life was set up, I kind of had more financial freedom, if that makes sense. So it got to a point where like, you know, my parents were sending me like allowance while I was up at school. But, you know, it wasn't for just to do whatever I wanted. Like, it was to get, you know, my groceries, school supplies, you know, all that other good stuff or whatever. But, like, if I had anything extra, of course, you know, I could do whatever I want. And, you know, me thinking that she was such a good friend, I could trust her and tell her stuff. She kind of, it was to a point where like she started like abusing that, you know, like she was like, oh, can you get me this, can you buy me that, I don't want my mom to see that I was, you know, buying XYZ, blah blah blah. At first I was like, okay, you know, I get it or whatever, you know, because sometimes I don't like seeing, like back then I didn't want to see, you know, my parents seeing like, oh, whoa, why you spent this much money here? So like, you know, I get it. So, you know, it was instances where, you know, I would pay to like get her stuff or whatever. Or, you know, if it's something like she really needed, like it was times like she really did need groceries and, you know, her mom didn't send her money. So we would go half on groceries because I was like, you know what, I need groceries too. So we can't both be on campus starving. So, you know, it was like little stuff like that. But when it got really too much was a little bit after like a year of our friendship and I moved back home. It was when she started like really doing this behavior more of like, oh, can you send me $5 for this? I need an Uber here, whatever. And I was like, okay, that's fine. But I was just like, you're on campus. You have more friends than I do. Like, I really didn't have many friends on campus like she did. And I was like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Like, this is where my good person tendencies was just like, I care about her, by the same token, it's just like, I have my own stuff I have going on too. And when I moved back home, like, I started working full time. So it's like, I had bills I had to pay on top of, you know, still being in school, something I didn't want to do, but that's how the cookie crumbled for me. And she also wanted to be in my pocket too. Now, I will disclose, she wasn't someone I was with, but she was someone that, like, I did have strong liking for. But at the same time, it's like, you still don't, I don't know, like, treat someone like that or whatever that you say is like your friend or that you care about. So anyways, so it got to the point where, you know, her behavior was just like getting worse. And then I was just like, I don't know. I could never really like tell her, I guess, no, because like she'll get in her feelings. Like, you know, you ever have that one person that like you tell them no and they're like, oh my god, why? Yeah, that was her. Or like catch an attitude or whatever. Yeah, that was her. Like, she was just a big ass crybaby. And I'm just like, what the fuck? You making me feel bad because I have a good heart and I'm a good person. And because I told you no, you making me feel obligated to now do what I told you no for. So that was basically like how me and her friendship was, like the tail end of it. Until, you know, I got with the amazing person I'm with now, and they kind of helped me see the light, especially with her. And basically, like, me and her friendship basically like died. So yeah, that's it with Anonymous. Yeah, Anonymous was, yeah, that was a roller coaster. Overall, like, her friendship was great, but it was just the fact of the financial abuse that she put me through was just like not okay. And it was times like she wouldn't even like pay me back. And just a side note, like, it was a point where I did end up getting a car and I moved back on campus. Y'all, this bitch ain't never give me gas money. Never gave me gas money. Like, she was always like, oh, let's go here, let's go there. And I'm just like, bitches, you finna put gas in my tank? I get we going up the street, but I'm just like, I also started working while I moved back on campus. And I'm like, I need gas to go to work. So if you're not doing that, we can't go nowhere. And she would like, like, that was just a whole nother thing. And I was just like, yeah, no, this is not gonna be okay. I'm like, this is my car. You can't tell me what to do with my car. That's what she wasn't gonna do either. But yeah, so that's that. So next person, we gonna call her Minnie. Like Minnie Mouse. So Minnie, I don't know. She was this type of friend that, I don't know, kind of similar to Anonymous. Like, she liked this stuff to be like her way or the highway kind of thing. Or if it was like you told her no, she was like, well, you let me do it. Like, no. So with Minnie, she was someone I knew for like a short period of time or what have you, but I don't know, like, for me, like with her, like my good person tendencies with her, it was more of like I was a good person to her, but also I just felt like I felt bad for her in a way. But it was like, that's how she presented herself to me, and always wanting advice about stuff or whatever. And like I always tell you guys, like, this is a safe space. You know, I'm a person you can come to, like, if you need advice or want to talk or whatever. So that's how I was with her. Like, I was no different. You know, if she wanted to talk, I was like, okay, that's fine. You know, what do you want to talk about? And, you know, but it got to a point where she was like, you know, every time she needed someone to talk to or something to vent about, she would always come to me. But it got to a point where she would come unannounced, and I'm just like, you're in my bubble, you're in my space. But it's just like, because I'm such a good fucking person, I don't know, like, I can't be the only one that has a hard time, like, I guess, setting boundaries That word sounds disgusting to me. But yeah, I'll say putting my foot down. There we go. I can't be the only person. So yeah, and it was just like I said, I don't know. I guess I just started to feel bad for her, but it got to a point where I was just like, you doing too much. Like, I'm talking to you till I'm like blue in the face, and that's not okay. Like, I just felt like I was dying my own energy out, and I didn't like that. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I still care about her as a human, so I'm not bashing her in any way. And if you are listening, I'm not bashing you. And I still care about you because we're all human. We all have our own shit that we go through. And it's okay. Like, it's okay to be a good person. It's okay to be there for people. It is okay to have like a good heart. But I will say, and this is something that I am still learning. As y'all know, I'm going to do my self journey. So it is something I'm still learning to just like be there for myself and set my own boundaries, so to speak. And it's not something that's been easy for me to do, but I'm working on it. And I just want you guys to know that it's okay to be a good person. It's okay. Just remember who you are and don't try to let anyone like change that or take that from you, because your feelings matter and they are valid at the end of the day. And it's okay. It really is okay. But sometimes I don't like people and I don't want to talk to people. And I don't have to tell people that sometimes. So I just talk to them. But I'm just like, I don't want to talk to you. But I'll talk to you. So yeah. So I don't know. But to conclude all of this, I share my story to basically say that, you're going to have people in your life that, basically, in my opinion, some of them may be the greatest person you'll ever meet and you'll be friends for a lifetime. But there will be those that are lessons in your life. And it's all about how you embrace those lessons and are willing to apply it to your life, basically. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a challenge, but you can do it. And, to give you extra encouragement, as I said before, I'm even learning with being 24 years old, and I'm still learning. So whether you're 24, 18, 19, 35, it's okay. Life doesn't have a handbook of like, you need to be this or be that at a certain age. Everyone is different. Everyone has their own time, their own growth. And at the end of the day, it's your story. And your story is worth sharing and worth being told. And it matters. So, all in all, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. It was a pleasure sharing my story with you guys. I hope you guys, really took a good feedback from it and, really learned the lesson that it's okay to be a good person, but just be mindful of how far your worth and the positive energy that you have, you're willing to share with others. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna end that. So if you have any questions you want to ask me or your story you want to share with me, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at freespace_podcast. My DMs are always open. And remember, at the Free Space, it is a safe space to all. And as always, make sure you guys are taking care of yourself mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. And remember, you are loved and you matter. Bye!